Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Sports Arena. I'm your man, of course, Eric Wilson. Got a great show for you tonight, introducing a very, very lovely lady. Let me tell you a little bit about her before I officially bring her on to the show here this evening. But before I get started, as I do every night here on the Sports Arena, let me just say this because the conversation needs to keep going. We need justice for Breonna Taylor. We need justice for Elijah McClain. And we need justice for Vanessa Gillian. Now, I know there's more names that need to be added to that list. Those are the three that I have chosen to keep that conversation going. That being said, tonight I want to welcome in a lady by the name of Miss Jennifer Cobb. Jennifer was a cheerleader for the Los Angeles Rams. Now, anybody who knows the history, we're going back a ways from 96 to 99, 4 seasons as a cheerleader for the St. Louis Rams. But more importantly than that, what she's been doing now is really going to speak volumes. And when I bring her on, we're definitely going to dive into that. But she is the founder and president of Team Getaway to a Cure, something that started in 2016. And as she will tell you, this is a very personal cause for her, and she is not looking back until we find a cure for this dreaded disease. With that, let me welcome in Miss Jennifer Cobb. Jennifer, good evening. Welcome to the Sports Arena. How you doing tonight? You muted yourself this time. I can't unmute you.
Thank you so much for having me. What a
Thank
joy
you
to
for.
meet you finally.
I know. Thank you for coming on the show this evening. So, for all of my listeners who may or may not have done their research and don't know, can you talk to the people a little bit about yourself, what you've done? And I don't want to get into Team Gateway to a Cure just yet. Just a little background on who Miss Jennifer Cobb is.
Sure. So, I was born and raised in Chicago, and went to college at Carbondale Southern Illinois University. Majored in dietetics, College of Agriculture, which is kind of interesting.
Okay.
And then upon graduation, moved to St. Louis and landed a job as a dietitian at a children's hospital, and worked there for a few years. And prior to that, I had extensive cheerleading experience in college for football and basketball, as well as high school. Being a gymnast and a cheerleader, that's kind of my background.
Okay.
So, Eric, one day I was driving home from work from Cardinal Glennon Children's Hospital, and I heard on the radio that they were hosting open auditions for the squad that Georgia Frontiere was bringing from LA to St. Louis. And I thought, I'm not a real strong dancer, but I have an extensive background in cheerleading. And as you know, cheerleading in college and high school is much different than professional cheerleading.
Yes.
Professional cheerleading is very much of a performing, dancing, and really bringing the crowd into what's going on in the field and getting the crowd involved with the games. And I don't know if you know this, maybe your listeners may not know this, but Georgia Frontiere was an a Vegas dancer. She was a showgirl.
Oh, wow.
And so you'll learn a little bit more about her and her life in her documentary movie that's in post-production. So having said that, Georgia was very, very adamant about the choice of her girls. She groomed us from, head to toe and everything inside. She was very strategic on from our hair to the color of the lipstick to how short our hair was. It didn't touch the back of our uniform, how fluffy our hair was, to how we spoke and interact with the public. And when you sign in with the NFL, sign up with them, there's a contract that you have to sign, just like the players.
Okay.
You are looked at upon as an ambassador of this company, this brand. And it's more than just talent on the field. It's the whole package. You can be an amazing NFL football player and have a fast 40-yard dash, but if you have no character and camaraderie with the other teammates and you have no charity drive in off of the field, there's a lot that's going to represent them on and off the field. And
Yeah.
so when I walked into this room for auditions with a couple of, close to 1,000 girls, how talented, I thought, there's no way that I'm going to make this team. I'm this little peanut from Chicago that I love to smile. I love cheering. I love, dancing and performing, but dancing is not my strength at all.
Okay.
But I tell you what is my strength.
Sure.
One of my strengths is the fact that if I don't know how to do something, I will learn how to do it. In fact, my parents did not have the funds, as we all know today, selected sports. In gymnastics, I could not go to selective gymnastics practice and private lessons back in the day. My parents didn't have the funds, the money to do that. So what did Jennifer do? I got connected with my next door neighbor, who was a gymnast in her own upbringing, and she taught me how to tumble and do all kinds of acrobatic tricks. So it landed me a varsity spot freshman year on the squad. And so that tenacity and that drive, if I don't have the talent, I'm kind of like the Rudy in disguise. Do you remember the movie Rudy?
I love one of my all-time favorite football movies.
On that field.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
So basically it's one of those where, your work ethic, like you said, your tenacity, your drive, that is what drove you to not only get this position as an NFL cheerleader, but having a 4-year career there, working with them, and just being the best version of yourself as an NFL cheerleader.
Absolutely. And one of the things a lot of people ask me is, Jen, you guys put in so many hours, and then you have 120 some hours of a season, a contract for charity off the field, public appearances. Why'd you do it? You didn't get paid much. Well, no, we didn't bank, but what I did bank was a network. And that network of people and friendships is what has driven me to where the foundation is today.
Wow.
I cannot tell you how amazing and how supportive the NFL has been up until this point, as well as the players and the friendships and the cheerleaders and all of the whole package of that family that has really been the driving force to the success of Team Gateway to a Cure. So I can't be where I'm at today if it wasn't for that.
Right. Ladies and gentlemen, talking to Miss Jennifer Cobb, NFL St. Louis Rams alumni cheerleader and the founder and president of Team Gateway to a Cure. So, Jen, let me ask you, what were some of the obstacles that you had to overcome? And for, aside from, signing the contract, making sure that you not only looked the part, but you presented yourself in such a way and carried yourself in such a way that you were a representation of the league and of the brand. What were some of those other obstacles that you had to, achieve?
Yeah, that's a great question. One of the biggest is I was not the strongest dancer on the squad, and many times almost lost my spot if I wasn't going to hustle behind the scenes. And one of the things that I'll share with you is, I don't know if you and your listeners are aware of Michael Jordan. When he stopped playing basketball and he started baseball, he practiced with the team, but many people don't know I'm very good friends with his hitting coach, Mike Barnett. After all the players would go away and go back home, Michael would continue to practice in silence and quiet behind the scenes with a private coach to hit. Is this any? I'm sorry, I'm driving here. And he would practice and practice and practice for about 2 hours after every practice just to master that skill. And so my dancing was just that. I had to master it because I was competing for that spot every year, actually every home game, so that I would secure my spot on the line. and I was constantly being critiqued. And so what I did with that was I used a lot of the mentors that were very strategic in my path to help me and push me to keep persevering so I can continue to have that spot on the line.
About that, I'm having technical issues over here. I apologize. Thanks
Oh
for.
no, that's okay. Yeah. Did you hear what I had said about?
You started talking about one of your greatest achievements and your obstacles, and then I lost you.
Okay, so what I was saying was, one of the strengths I had was perseverance and tenacity. I was not the strongest dancer, so I was critiqued a lot by the mentorship on the team. And so I would practice and do it until, because you're not guaranteed a spot every game, you have to earn it. And every year you have to retry out, even though you're a rookie coming back or a veteran coming back. Even in 1 year or the next year, you still have to try out and go through the same process as the NFL players, because you got to prove yourself, and there's always somebody a little hungrier breathing down your neck wanting that spot. So you never take it for granted at all. But it honestly, between you and I, it really taught me a lot of life lessons, because the NFL was a short period of my time. The lessons that I've taken off the field has really paved the way to where I'm at today, in terms of raising my children, my family, my foundation, the friendships and the networks. I take it serious. I have a great time, but I also am always self-improving myself. I'm always trying to go to the next version of what's a good, the best version of Jen.
Yeah, and I mean that's so great because you know, the best way I can describe it is, rest in peace to a great man in Kobe Bryant, but you have that Mamba mentality, if you will, to always be the best version of yourself. So before my internet cuts out on me again, let's talk about Team Gateway to a Cure. Now, you started this in 2016. Do you mind sharing with my listeners here on the Sports Arena, what was the reason why you started this, and how it basically evolved into where it is today?
Yeah, so I started it a few years back, and I had collaborated efforts with Michael J. Fox years prior. And my father, Ty Cobb, the same name as the baseball player,
Yes.
um, that was diagnosed with Parkinson's right around the same time Michael J. Fox went public with his disease of Parkinson's in 1999. And over the years, Eric, I had seen the Parkinson's degenerate my dad. And as a daughter, an adult child, loving my father, I knew there had to be a way to bring Michael's resources to another level outside of fundraising money. Actually, the Fox Foundation gave me the name Team Gateway to a Cure. And what I wanted to do with that, I wanted to collaborate efforts with the Muhammad Ali Parkinson's Center, and it's wonderful. But we yet do not have a cure for Parkinson's and many other brain diseases such as ALS, MS, Alzheimer's. And until we do, that our home, our loved ones, making sure that they cheer on them to give them hope and comfort while they go through the battle of the disease. And so Mohammed's legacy, before he passed away, after I had met with his widow, Lonnie, she was so sweet to really allow me to understand what Mohammed's legacy was, and that was caregiver support. Where's their support at the end of their day after they've tucked their loved one in bed and made sure that they're at their therapy sessions and had their medicine and filled their belly up with their meals, and they're exhausted and depressed and having to work outside the home if they have to, and they're low income if they are. So where do they go for their support?
Mm-hmm.
And so now the insurance companies are recognizing caregivers as the second patient. And so they are strategically putting in caregiver support programs in hospitals and at YMCAs and different facilities throughout the country. And I think it's really, really a good idea, because you and I both have had a little taste of what quarantine's like.
Yes.
And
Yes, we
that's
have.
their life every
Wow.
day. It's very quiet. It's lonely. It's sad. There's not doorbells ringing and phones jingling and knocking at the door. It's a very quiet, very lonely, depressed lifestyle. And so it's really important for caregivers, not just for Parkinson's, but caregivers in everybody's own right,
Mm-hmm.
that they recognize where their support system will come from. And so Team Gateway to a Cure focuses on caregiver support and what that looks like. You can go to our website, www.teamgatewaytoacure.org, and you can learn a lot more about what caregiver support looks like. I get asked many times at caregiver conferences that I speak at on what the dynamic in the family, if there's, emotional trauma, or there's, a lot of trauma bonding that goes on. How can other loved ones be a good support system? If you live far, if you don't have the means financially, I mean, there's a million ways to be a good caregiver.
Yeah.
And
And
it's
I
really
mean, this
great that
speaks,
we are able to share that.
yes, and this speaks volumes, like you said, not just for those who are, caring for Parkinson's disease, but all caregivers. It's giving them an outlet just as much as they're providing a service to their loved ones, and to people in general who they know are in need of just the day-to-day routine. So I'm so touched by this, and I'm very thankful that our mutual friend, Mr. Franklin, was able to connect us, because this is a message that people need to continually hear. And again, ladies and gentlemen, all on the sports arena, www.teamgatewaytoacure.org. I've got it scrolling across my feed down here so you guys can see that. Make sure you go check it out, because I'll tell you what she has been able to do in 4 years, just basically being the best version of herself in one aspect of her life, and then saying, okay, here is the next chapter of my life, and here's where I'm going to go be the best version of myself. Jennifer, I can't thank you enough for joining me here. Before I let you go, is there anything else that you'd like to definitely discuss or talk about here on the Sports Arena tonight?
My book is coming out. The documentary movie is in post-production. You can watch the trailer on the website. And I'd love to cheerleading behind the scenes and what goes on, the fun stories, and even Parkinson's, what questions you may have about being a caregiver in your own home, and how and where do you go for your support emotionally, physically.
Awesome. Yeah, we'll definitely set that up where we can have you back on, and we'll dive into each one of those topics. Pulling back the curtain on being an NFL cheerleader, more about your book, more about the trailer that's coming out with your. Now, is it a docu-series? Is it a movie? Which one is it?
It's a documentary movie,
Okay.
and it's an amazing movie, and it's all about the life of Dr. Jerry Medoff, who became world famous 20 years ago when he invented the 21 pill cocktail for HIV virus.
Oh, wow.
So now, as we look at the trajectory of the virus today,
yeah,
pill and live a normal life.
That's amazing.
Since because of his breakthrough, well, he himself now is taking 20 pills for Parkinson's. And so you look at the movie, uncovers and unravels the greatest mystery of our time, Eric, you and me.
Yeah,
which
exactly.
is Parkinson's and brain diseases. And so where will that be 20 years from now, the way AIDS was 20 years ago, and how it unravels that mystery? But the other side, A Race for Another Day is the movie title. And the other side of the disease is the caregiver. A Race for Another Day is part of a caregiver's love.
Wow. Awesome. Again, ladies and gentlemen, Jennifer Cobb, founder and board president.
To give them another day until we have a cure.
Awesome. Jennifer, thank you so much for being here. I look forward to having you back on the show. Please be safe out there. I know you're in your car, but just, make sure, wear a mask, stay healthy.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been a joy.
And we will definitely speak to you soon.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.